Hello everyone, today I'm going to see how I helped a supplement store go from 250k a month to 750k a month and around 100% year-on-year growth. Here is obviously the screenshot of it just to kind of showcase that it's actually real. But I know people just create this kind of case studies and everything. I want to have a big disclaimer here. Obviously, I was very important in this business growth, but I can't take the whole credit for it, and I'm not going to be responsible for generating this amount of money. Obviously, it is trackable back to my efforts and my revenue, but I just want to throw it out there. There's a big element from their team, as well as my team, and as well as again the business and obviously the time. So I just want to throw it out there because I just want to set realistic expectations. But this system works time and time again. It's more so if the founder is very hands-on and can take into action and implement basically everything that we ask him to do. But yeah, basically, as you can see here, all efficiency metrics maintained, which is very, very positive. And you can see net profit actually increased by 80%. And that brings me to the first point. So the first point we actually dialed in here is finance. So we need to have a clear view on profitability goals, KPIs, and targets so we can scale efficiently. I see other media buyers and other kind of agencies or whatever just go and dive into the ad account, just run ads for no reason, but they have no idea what's the goals of the business, what's the profitability of the business, what's the core metrics basically that we optimize from a health perspective. And it's really important to develop a forecasting sheet to track against results so we don't lose our key goal. For a simple forecasting sheet can be just pull data from the last 12 months. Ideally, you'll have some of the data as well, like a P&L view of the business. You make sure you're improving the contribution margin, but on a surface level, make sure you have the key channels and the targets, so we can obviously make some assumptions based on the next few months, how we're tracking against them to hit that 750, 1 million a month goal, but also be trackable back to the business, just change a revenue number that is actually profitable. So very, very simple here, but super important. Obviously, it is a bit complex to actually develop that forecasting sheet. If you know it, if you don't know it, but go back as the simplest form. Go back to your business 12 months ago. See month by month all your efficiency metrics like MER, blended ROAS, CAC, all this kind of stuff, and also have another view of each channel, how did it actually perform each month. I actually make a separate video actually going through that, but that's just for the sake of this video, to make it very short. And then the super important thing, obviously, that was given it was a supplement store, especially in the kind of weight loss space, Meta will be the biggest driver and was the biggest driver of revenue. So the biggest unlocks with Meta after obviously a point that I'll be spending 100k a month. So the account when I was in basically spent 3-4k a day. So around 120k a month. So the main things that we tackle is creative output. So we needed to have a very, very consistent creative pipeline. So we have new content being added in the account in a weekly basis. And not only that, but also that is content that is actually thoughtful, and we know that it's based on our winning ads and also iteration on the winning ads. And then obviously there's a kind of element to net new concept as well. So we need to place the creative system, a process, source new creative, and that consistently. So that's exactly what we did. And again, I'm going to have a separate video just going very specific on some of the creative processes and output and some things that I've learned. But the super important thing, just top level, track your creative, and obviously have multiple sources that you're getting creative. For example, it can be UGC from people on Upwork, it can be UGC from reach outs, it can be influencers, it can be someone on your team, can be affiliate, just to get video content. And then obviously there's another element to statics, maybe you actually cooperate with a few agencies or whatnot. Super important to have the creative output. We were basically getting into the account 20 ads weekly, pretty much, if not more, especially afterwards, which I'm going to be talking about how we did that. And the other thing is, after a point, we need to have a creative diversity, creative mix, probably, that's a better word. That's super, super, super important nowadays, and Meta really, really favors that in the last year or so, especially after we spend a few more in the account. We need to have a more diverse mix of creators of creative styles and aspects and types of creative. So like statics, GIFs, videos, carousels. We need to have pretty much everything. Obviously, highly depending on your business. Obviously, carousels here wasn't really something that made the most sense, but we did test a few bits there as well. The only reason is we need to have different styles of assets in the ad to speak to different people, basically. Because if you go and like see the feed of your friend, it will look entirely different from your Instagram feed, just because like you interact with different kind of content. So you might get more statics, you might get more videos, all of that to say that different people will respond to different kind of ads as well. So it's really important that we actually hit them in all the kind of situations that we do have available. And the other thing, the ad account was heavily focused on video content and UGC, and not statics, which is typically the other way around, because it's much easier to kind of source statics, and much easier to actually test. And I recommend testing initially just with statics, because it's just very, very low resource. So we've seen most of the spend distribution going into the heavy, not going into the Reels placement. So we kind of started to bring some of the winning UGC into some simple statics with, USB as the headline, and just communicating that the focal point being the product, and that really helped well. So that was the main thing that we kind of put in place before diving into any kind of like ad account and kind of optimization and scaling. So obviously the lowest hanging fruit here was actually unlocking Meta. Like we knew that if we kind of doubling spend on Meta efficiently, we're probably going to have a very, very good effect on revenue. So, and there was a lot of optimizations, so we're pretty lucky, quote unquote, because we had a lot of room and a lot of work to do. And so some of the easy things that we did that you can, I highly urge you to go to your account or your client's account, just have a look at it. The account needed consolidation with 80% of the spend stack in learning. So if you go to the tabs on the left, which basically has like an overview on Meta, you see that what percentage of the spend is stack in learning. So it makes you to basically have that maximum 20-30% maximum. So we had a lot of work actually consolidating from an ad set level to a campaign level. We have multiple campaigns running before we kind of consolidated back to a very, very simple framework that I went into my previous video, which is a creative testing and scaling campaign initially, and a few others afterwards. But the creative testing obviously looks something like this. This is an ABO. We test different angles, concepts. Each ad set had 3 to 5 creatives, and then the winners were scaled into an AC plus campaign. And the other thing here is we switched to 7-day click optimization. So they were running 7-day click, 1-day view, but we had like 50% or plus of conversions coming just from view through conversions, which basically means that it's no incremental. It doesn't really translate into revenue, and it's basically just Meta trying to over-report here. So we switched back to 7-day click, and a big thing here again, we did this gradually. We didn't change this overnight, because obviously there was some spend going into the account. But I think in the span of like 2 weeks, I think we kind of rolled everything on 7-day click. And again, that's another thing to mention. We adjusted our goals based on the 7-day click. So 7-day click, 1-day view ROAS, for example, won't be the same as 7-day click. We want to make sure we kind of align. So that goes back to the finance piece. So another thing, we actually launched manual bidding that did very, very well. We helped us scale a lot more efficiently. And how we did this, basically we have a separate campaign just with manual bidding, and we have the winning audiences, winning creatives, and then we just tested stuff on $5 increments. And then the other stuff here that's super important to mention, we actually tested whitelisting through the founder, which was who was up for that. So that really helped us a lot. We had like multiple winning ads from that, and then whitelisting from top creators that we try to kind of partner with, slash the CPA. Now that was one of the biggest things that we did to kind of scale harder. It always makes sense because obviously they were running just branded kind of ad campaigns like usual. And that's how we really unlocked Meta. We scaled like up to like 15K a day on Meta, which is like pretty kind of significant from a revenue perspective. So I think that pretty much got us to like double the spend, the revenue, like probably 450, 500K in consistency. And then there was a few other bits that we want to unlock afterwards, because obviously now it's important that we want to bring new channels as well. So a big unlock was TikTok Shop and affiliates, just because obviously it helped with like top of funnel traffic. So basically, TikTok Shop is like new people basically just finding your business, getting to know your product and everything. But the big challenge was actually getting content from affiliates, because we can actually use them on Meta, and we did like iterations. We get like, and that basically doubled the volume almost on Meta weekly. We got TikTok to like 4K a day, which really helped again drive new customer acquisition. So after a point, like we spent like 12 to 15K a day on Meta, and around 3 to 4K on TikTok. So that really helped with like driving new customers, new eyeballs, and obviously affiliate content was a big piece of actually that really helped with kind of volume here. Now Google, big channel here that a lot of people just miss. But we unlocked lots of revenue just from Google. It was so underutilized, almost zero. So we applied a full funnel approach, super funnel, middle bottom funnel into the account, and that looks like we focus really on shopping, which is kind of middle of funnel. And since the recent updates on Google, it really just favors shopping. So we put all the top SKUs there on manual bidding, either target ROAS or target CPA. We use target CPA because we were optimizing for a CPA goal. And we have the PEEP max to maximize revenue. So we have all the products there, really just to maximize revenue. Again, running on initially on manual bidding, and then switch to maximize conversion value. And then we had YouTube, with some of the YouTube, with some of the top UGC basically, run as top of funnel ads there that really helped like new eyeballs in the system, which further improved not only the middle funnel and bottom funnel of Google, but also Meta, TikTok, every channel, and the whole business. That was huge unlock of Google. That's basically how we kind of structure it from a top level perspective. That really helped us scale. And I think it probably had like 100 to 200K a month just from Google at its kind of peak there. And then the last piece, obviously, we didn't do that much because obviously we were like focusing on the other pieces, and we just want to really isolate the creative and some of the things that we did on the accounts. So landing pages were like the next step, but we did test a few, ranging from landing pages, listicles, quizzes, collection pages. Product pages and collection pages just came out on top, but in really to align better. I think that's what we basically didn't do that well. We didn't align really with the creative, with those more high funnel landing page environments like the quiz, for example, or the listicle. So we have more work to do there, but there was some promising signs as well. So that's in a kind of nutshell how we basically took them from 200K to almost 750K a month while maintaining efficiency. Again, there's a lot of things that go into it. Obviously here, that's kind of the key levers that we pulled. And I think if you basically focus on this stuff, I honestly guarantee that you're going to see improvements in your performance. It might not get you like $500,000 a month in revenue, but it will probably get you a significant amount of revenue and kind of cash into the business. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll love to actually hear any thoughts, and I hope you have a great day.